This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Now at 5, cracking down on gun violence. According to the CDC, it is the leading cause of death for children in our country. And the problem hits close to home. It finds St. Louis leaders joining the community to find solutions. Good evening, I'm Brent Solomon. Just this week, 3 children shot in the St. Louis region within the span of 3 days. 2 of them died. New tonight, Mercedes McKay learned how local advocates are pushing for stepped-up safety measures. Mercedes.
Brent, it was a pretty violent weekend across the bi-state, specifically with children. Monday, a 5-year-old girl was fatally shot in Belleville hours after a 7-year-old boy died in Berkeley from an accidental shooting. Then Wednesday, a 9-year-old boy was shot in his bedroom in North St. Louis County. Well, today, volunteers from Women's Voices Raised for Social Justice were one of the many groups at the Cardinals Care Back to School event. The group was handing out free gun locks while educating people on how to use them. The chair of their campaign for Common Sense Gun Solutions says it's the easiest step to make sure no more children die from unintentional shootings. There are still a lot of people who don't use gun locks because they believe it doesn't allow for easy access to their weapon. But advocates say with practice, gun locks can be easy to use.
Please lock your gun. You know, there are lots of children running around here today, absolutely adorable kids that deserve to have a right to get to adulthood.
According to 5 on Your Side data so far this year, at least 61 children under the age of 17 have been shot in St. Louis and St. Louis County. 15 of them have died. Coming up at 6, I'll share where you can always get free gun locks.
Useful information, Mercedes. Thank you. Right now, police need your help identifying the driver involved in a hit and run outside of Ballpark Village Sunday. And new video shows the moment it happened. We want to warn you it may be disturbing to watch. This surveillance video shows the moment a black Dodge pickup truck rammed into a golf cart near South Broadway and Clark Avenue. The 2 men in that golf cart then confronted the driver. That's when the person behind the wheel of the pickup hit them. If you have any information about the driver, call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Right now, police are investigating a car crash that left 1 boy dead and 3 adults hurt. Last night, 2 adults and a 7-year-old were on I-70 when a wrong-way driver hit them near Wentzville. They all went to the hospital, and that's where the little boy died. The 2 adults were also hurt. They're expected to be okay. The driver of the other car was arrested on suspicion of driving while intoxicated. He was seriously hurt and is now recovering at the hospital. New information today on a boating explosion that sent over a dozen people to the hospital in the Lake of the Ozarks Friday. Today we found out many of them who were hurt are from the St. Louis area. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says 16 people were hurt. 5 of them are from St. Charles County. 4 are minors. Their injuries range from minor to moderate. Time now for your Weather First forecast. In just a second, we're going to get a live image outside. Another humid day in the bi-state after a pretty rainy morning. A clear evening is in store, but tomorrow is a weather alert day. Meteorologist Gary Frank now with your Weather First forecast.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brent. And, you know, for the most part, it's still not been all that bad. We had that early cloud cover and rain. There were some minor areas of power outages, but for the most part, a widespread rain that we got in the first part of the day. And then clouds kind of hung around, kept their temps from really ballooning too much. There's still a few of them right now. Chesterfield, one of those areas that got some higher wind gusts that we'll share with you shortly. But you see that wind that moved through in the early morning hours, cleared out pretty quickly. And our heat index still is close to 100 in St. Charles in many spots, even Perryville 101. So that cloud cover really did make a difference. I think the rest of the evening, temperature-wise, not all that bad and should stay dry through midnight. But we're already looking ahead to our next 24 hours. Another round of storms possible overnight. They won't be quite as loud, what we had, and then a break during the day. And how that break sets up could set up for a late severe threat once again before we see our pattern change significantly. We'll bring you the updates from what we experienced overnight and talk about the timing and some of the ingredients, which may lead to a couple of different scenarios as we head into the overnight and through most of Sunday.
All right, Gary, we'll see you shortly. Today, the death toll in Hawaii climbs to at least 80 after devastating wildfires hit the island of Maui. The historic town of Lahaina is decimated as about 85% of fires there are contained. Residents now pleading to see what is left of their homes as conditions are dangerous. Mike Valerio has more.
What we're doing is trying to go get supplies and come back. Frustrated Lahaina residents sounding off at emergency officials after sleeping in their cars for hours overnight at a checkpoint after police closed the only route to the town again Friday afternoon.
They should escort us back because we got families, we got kids, we got going on.
I'm trying to get home right there.
Police reopened the highway briefly again on Saturday, but now conditions are often too dangerous for travel.
There was some limited access, so folks could get in to start seeing what was in their neighborhood and their property. But it is limited because, again, the hot spots and the flare-ups, we want to protect safety first.
FEMA estimates the cost of rebuilding the historic town will reach more than $5.5 billion. The agency estimates the fire destroyed or damaged more than 2,000 properties. Meantime, years of state and local records show officials underestimated the threat of wildfires.
We did not learn our lesson from Lane that brush fires could erupt as a result of churning hurricane winds below us to the south. And we underestimated the lethality, the quickness of fire.
The state's attorney general will lead a comprehensive review of decisions made by officials in response to the wildfires, as more than a dozen federal agencies help with the recovery effort, including setting up temporary emergency power. On Maui, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
And Hawaii's Governor Josh Green is expected to hold a news conference with the director of FEMA today. If you're looking to support the victims of those wildfires, text the word HELP to 314-425-5355.